Okay. All right. What I'm speaking about today is games as video games as art, not quite art. What does that mean? All right. What I'm trying to explain is that video games are now crossing the threshold into the art world. By lowercase, uppercase A, that usually means craft to fine art, museum-based art. And why that matters is, well, it's art already, isn't it? I mean, we have immersive experiences. There's been a variety of different ways that we've interacted with it and had illicit responses about it, but it's not quite that fine art yet. What it actually is kitsch art. If you know what the kitsch art is, it is a singular concept, very straightforward, fun, love, hate, troll thing, luck, I guess. It is what it is, basically. And what has happened is that video games have finally hit the technological advances that it can transcend. Marcel Duchamp over there said, I'm an artist, I'm going to put this spinning wheel up, anything is art, whatever, don't care. That worked, and there was great innovations forward. When all artworks go in an art form, when there's none exists, a new art form arrives. Well, video games are now into that. You'll see examples such as Freedom Bridge, Flower, BioShock Infinite, which discusses racism and pro-America feelings. Freedom Bridge talks about Korea and how it's centralized in a place of terror. It's a good place. It takes about a minute. But something happened to challenge this. Roger Ebert said, video games can never be art. He mixed his haterade quite strong that morning. Rest in peace. I love him with everything he does, but he was wrong. He eventually relented and said, well, they could be eventually, an art form. Which film went through the exact same thing. We actually have two words for them. It's film and movies. And we can describe them between the two, but forever? I mean, forever, ever? Really? That it will never change? Ever? No, absolutely not. I mean, as we see this, we see more experiences, more immersive things happening that it actually will move into art form. And how does it get into accepted things? Well, we move into the liberal arts. This concept of all of these things make you a well-rounded, cultural, effective person. Film, as you can see, was just added quite recently. Video games will be next. Will it be called video games? Maybe not. It might be called something else. So I went out on a quest to find out. Are they art? Yep, absolutely. This place is the Center for Art and Media Technology. It's in Germany, and there was a whole string of tweets of me yelling back and forth with them, but we basically came to the conclusion that, yes, this is very real. The Smithsonian just had an exhibit on it. The MoMA just accessioned 14 titles as design, because they are high design, instead of saying art and opening up the slew of issues. You can Google it. There's tons of info on it. What happened next is that all of these indie games started jumping out of it, and this has been happening for years. But things of Orpheus and his journey are, don't look back, in this really groundbreaking game of just discussing, what if we took really complex concepts and make them a game? Can we do that? Is it art? Well, kind of. So to do that, Extra Credits has come about with James Portnow out in Seattle to deconstruct games, just as Duchamp did, as I mentioned. And what he's doing is educating about the different aspects. I mean, there's games, there's storyline, there's the hero's journey, a variety of different things. Every Wednesday they come out, and I'm addicted to it. His education forms are adding into schools to say, all right, well, you need art, you need STEM. You also need to learn about what video games are coming next, because this will change everything. And why this even matters here to Ignite Minneapolis is because our art field is incredible here. We're just ranked again and again and again. I mean, Meet Minneapolis is their, it's their slogan. But it impacts our economy in great forms because we value the arts there. But we need video games to be called art because of they require one big thing, that if they actually can jump away from having to push a profit, having to sell 1 million copies, you can actually innovate. Because when the innovation happens, then the art happens. You don't need patronage. You can go outside your bounds and not be corrected by someone else. New technology is now making that even more accessible beyond the Virtual Boy, which is just comical. But the Oculus Rift and Google Glass will change our entire lives to say, well, is this art? Is this a cultural happening? What is actually going on? All of this is very, very close. It's already been beta tested in way more hipster cities than we have. For example, say we had the IOC choose an Olympic city by saying, all right, who picks up the most trash in the world? Boom. Gamification comes in, and cities compete against each other for some sort of random game. Minneapolis can do this because we value those sort of things. We want to be ahead of everyone else. We made this. What is that? Chimney Rock. Everyone knows what it is, even though none of us have even been there. We started the MEC, the Minnesota Educational Computing Consortium, and we even passed the Legacy Amendment. We have funds available. We have the people here to do it. We just needed to cross that threshold and really make impactful change. Because right now, games are just no options, and they could be deep into it. I mean, you could be a 1920s German person to say, make the choice yourself in the game, and it will change everything entirely.